welcome to the Sunbirdcrochet podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from Germany. I bet you didn't expect me to be back here so early. I'm here because I promised you to draw the winner of my giveaway from the last episode. And I'm giving away my special Christmas yarn. I already have a little gauze bag here to post it off, and I will add a couple of little things because I already contacted the winner, who is Trina, browneyedgirlgb on Instagram and here on YouTube, and I'm very happy to send the yarn off to her. And I will add a couple of little things which I will show you in the next few minutes, as well as a little surprise maybe. We will see. So that's definitely going to be in your parcel, Trina. And I will insert here the little drawing video. It's quite handy to have this YouTube random, if you Google YouTube random comment picker, then you can find this tool if you ever need it as well. So that goes into your parcel, number one. I would also like to thank all the lovely people who commented on the video about what they're planning to do. Let me just go through them. I want to take the time to talk about all your projects and plans, and so we start with the most recent to the first comment, kind of time-wise backwards. There is Liz Dolan. Hi Claudia, I'm new to your channel and have watched all your Vlogmas, which was brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to make it, as I imagine it takes up so much time. Actually, it's quite addictive. I always feel that it must be totally boring, but the more glad I am that it isn't for you. My finished projects are wonderful. Okay, at the minute, I'm crocheting a Christmas garland for next year. That's a brilliant idea. I think we all should start making our Christmas makes already now so that we don't get into too much stress. I think that Faye from the Crochet Circle podcast said that she's starting now as well. I mean, it's a different story if we keep up making the Christmas presents, because when all the new patterns are coming up and, you know, Murid magazine issue 2 is coming up this spring, then we are getting totally distracted again, but we can start with the Christmas presents already. So Liz says her main goal this year is to learn how to knit socks. It looks so daunting. Yes, it does look daunting, but it isn't that difficult. I learned from the YouTube Academy to make my socks, and I always make socks toe up. I think that most people make them cuff down, but I just don't like the closing of the gap at the end. I always feel that on my toes, and I kind of fear that it's a weak point where the socks break first. So I prefer the toe-up version with Julie's magic cast on, using a magic, not a magic needle. Hey, magic needle, no. What's it called? A round? Magic loop method. That's what it's called. It's not a magic needle. So, yeah, I was following YouTube videos, YouTube tutorials, and I think they're very useful. I'm a visual learner, so that always helped me. I still don't like making heels that are too fiddly, and I feel like my shoulders are cramping up, and I like all these fiddly bits and no. So I only make socks for very special people. For instance, my father. When he was in cancer treatment, he still always has cold feet, but I made him very thick woolly socks to keep his toes warm. So that's where I go when I go through making socks and heels. But back to Liz. She has ordered yarn and needles, so she's waiting for them to arrive. And yes, thank you for coming and subscribing and leaving a comment. You were not the winner, Liz, but maybe next time. I wrote to all the commenters this morning. I left the comments for today because I wanted to wait until I drew the winner. Don't want YouTube comment picker to get mixed up. So what was I going to say? It's still a little bit early for me, brain-wise. No idea what I was going to say, except thank you for commenting. And yeah, next one to comment was Evelyn, and she's a regular commenter. And thank you. Color work, she likes my color work. Yes, I do as well. I still have my Illuminates crochet version sweater with color work at the yoke, and I'm looking forward to doing that. You know, when I started crocheting, and you start with simple projects like granny squares and snowflakes and such, and then later you get fascinated by color work, and color work mostly comes with knitting projects. Also, I thought, until I found the Taroko sweater pattern, and that opened my eyes for all the possibilities. I could just use the knit chart for making a crochet colorwork sweater. And there's I always thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a crochet colorwork pattern where you can create your own colorwork, like a draw-in grid for different sizes. I know that for knitting such a thing exists with Tinker Knits. You can buy you can buy colorwork knitting pattern where you can draw your own colorwork in. So it's really nifty, and maybe one day we can all join our forces and make such a crochet colorwork pattern. Yeah, there are different ways to make a colorwork in crochet. May it be that you're doing a single crochet, but then it slants a bit to the right. If you're doing the center single crochet, also called waistcoat stitch, and I think there are also other names for it as well, then it's straight bang in the middle and you don't have problems with slanting anywhere. And then some people I saw that are making a extended single crochet, like the first poke in the middle of a previous stitch, of a stitch one row below, and they pull up a loop and they pull a loop back there and then only go through it, something like that. I can't explain too well here in a video, but there are different ways to make colorwork in crochet. And Evelyn is also finishing some works in progress that got pushed aside at Christmas. Yes, don't we all? And she's throwing out some hickory yarn, a pocket shawl, a raglan sweater, and face spiral cowl. Yes, face spiral cowl. I've made that as well, I think, within a day or two. That was a really enjoyable make. And hats, always hats. Yes, those are very satisfying makes. And we have, oh, I don't know, Ellie and Naksha? Let me look up your name. I don't know how to pronounce your username, but your icon is a very cute red Panda. So happy New Year. I'm so happy to see a podcast again. Yes, I think more crochet content is preferable. My biggest or her biggest project for 22 is a temperature blanket. So far so good, but after only 5 days it's hard to tell more about it. Yeah, that's true. Well, we are at the beginning of January. I don't know, I asked her in the comments if she's doing it on a daily basis or a weekly basis, choosing her colors. I don't know how this works. I just know that Trina, who won the prize, she made a temperature blanket last year. So that's a lot of work and a lot of commitment, and I applaud everyone who is doing a temperature blanket. Then we have Kati Zumwald, or maybe that's Kathy Zumwald. I love the yarn and it's beautiful. I'm wanting to make a bathrobe and some more clothing items this year. When I was reading that, I thought, just the other day, I felt the need of having a bathrobe. Usually I just get up and I get washed and dressed and that's it. I don't need a bathrobe. But during holiday times, when you really don't want to get dressed right away, you want to lounge around the sofa, and a bathrobe would be perfect for when the doorbell rings and the postman brings you some more yarn. Yes, did I say that I was in such a situation where I had to make a look around the corner of my door and say, just drop it there, I'm still not dressed. Yeah, so I asked her if she has a good pattern for a bathrobe, and that's something I would be interested in making as well. Holly Marie St. Pierre. Hi Claudia, I'm planning on participating in the Rose City Mel. That's a mystery make along, and I looked it up, it was new to me. Rose City Yarn Crawl is making a mystery knit or crochet along every year, and there were kits which you could purchase in November last year, and the make along or knit or crochet along started in January. So that looks really intriguing. I don't know if you can actually only buy the pattern. I will link it down below. And if you're interested in a mystery make along, crochet along, knit along, then I can guide you to it. Thank you, Holly Marie, for mentioning it. And she's making a mystery shawl, I suppose, in crochet. I also would like to try making a crochet garment, a dress or a sweater for the first time. Yes, I hope that you will enjoy your first garment make. I think with everything crochet or craft related, it all takes some practice, and it's not a big unachievable thing. It's just like keep trying, keep making, and then you will get there. My first sweater was actually one I made up myself with the raglan top, and just increasing. I was used to granny squares, so if you can make a granny square, then you can make a sweater. You just increase until you reach the point where you can join the edges again, and then you add some sleeves, and then you continue working on the body. That's about the most basic sweater I ever made, and I had given the pattern away for free as a PDF download, but I think since then I moved on quite a lot, and the best garment patterns were the Taroko sweater pattern, which I mentioned before, by Norman Stitches, and the add-along, of which I made quite a lot already, by Deanne from Eddie Day Designs. So if you want to make some crochet garments, those two designers I can highly recommend. Then we go on to Vemuma. Is that from Vemumans? Vemuma? I don't know. She says, I'm planning on crocheting the Amakel, and I'm currently crocheting hats for many people as it's very snowy here. Have a wonderful new year. Have a wonderful new year as well. And the Amakel is by Tina Torvaldsdottir, who's Tina Heckel on Instagram. and she's very well known for her wonderful crochet designs, mostly mosaic crochet. I will link down the Emma Cal as well. It's a blanket. And as always, when I read something which intrigues me, when I want to investigate further, and I move on and on and on, and this is not crochet related as well, but this is about last names in Iceland. Trina comes from Iceland. Her last names are Thorodottir Thorvaldsdottir, and in fact those are not really her last names, because people from Iceland don't have last names. They have first names, and then there's like a paternal system where you get the first name of your father together with either son for son or dottir for daughter, builds your second name. So it's very beautifully explained in the internet, if the naming system. I'm just reading it now here, but I can also link it down below. It's an old Scandinavian system which all the countries once used. It is a paternal system where the father gives his children his first name as their last name, adding son if a child is a boy or dottir if a child is a girl. This might seem confusing at first, but really it's not. Let's try some examples. If you have Haraldur Freyja Hreinsson married Erla Dögg Sveinsdottir, and sorry for a pronunciation, they have a son and a daughter, and the son first name is Johan Otta, and since his father's first name is Haraldur, his son's last name would be Harald's son. So Haraldur, first name, then the son gets the last name Harald's son, and his daughter gets Harald's dottir, which of course means that all the last names of the women get lost during generations. I think that's why Trina might have two last names, because it says Thorodottir Thorvaldsdottir. So she kind of, I suppose, I don't know, but I suppose her father's name, first name is Thorvald, and her mother's name is Toru. I don't know. In any case, I find this kind of information intriguing and interesting, so I will link this down below. And it also reminded me of one of my teachers when I was studying travel and tourism in Cape Town. She was coming from Iceland, and her last name was ending with dottir as well, and she explained the whole system to all of us as well. Different, but interesting. Yeah, so the Emma Cal by Trina. It's a Cal which was published last year, 2021, and it's still going strong because it's a very lovely looking pattern. So we are now going on to Sand Ray. Is your name Sandy? She's a newbie. She really wants to make more wearables. I would like to graduate to beginner patterns. The easy are about all I can follow. I look forward to learning new stitches too. Yes, in some ways I would like to be a beginner again, because then you have all the new stuff ahead of you. It's so exciting and interesting. But that said, there's always new things you can learn, and I hope you will enjoy your makes and enjoy graduating from one level of crocheter to the other and the other and the next and the next. And yeah, thank you for your comment. And there's Emma from Potter and Bloom. She's wishing me a Happy New Year. She had a lovely giveaway recently as well. Yeah, she's referring to my tarot cards, and because I had been drawing the same card over and over again, which was the card choice. I actually drew one today, and it said, I drew another tarot card this morning and was a different one at last, and it says completion. One deserves a bouquet when a demanding endeavor has come full circle to success. So it's not a bad card. I wonder what it might be. Something nice. Sue Cook, she's planning a corner-to-corner temperature blanket, so there's another temperature project for you. She's using schepjes. She's using schepjes. She's using schepjes. Little ships is actually what schepjes means in Dutch. Anyway, she's using schepjes color crafter. How often can I say this the wrong way? And she can't wait to get started once she's worked out the amount of clusters per day. She doesn't want it to be massive. She's thinking about 15 clusters per day. She needs to do some maps. Well, yeah, I think corner to corner is a lovely project because it gives so neat edges. I really love it. And I made a nice blanket with a kind of patchwork effect and a big swirl in the middle, and I kind of want to make another one. We will see, but corner to corner is lovely. It's so relaxing and rewarding. Then we have Trina, Brown-Eyed Girl GB. Happy New Year. She sent the Jane Austen tarot deck to a friend as a Christmas present. She loved it, so thanks for the inspiration. Yes. We all pretend not to like tarot. And you can actually play normal card games with it. So yeah, I just like it. She completed 4 items and frogged 2, and she didn't get into a crochet routine for some reason. Yeah, so that happens. Oh, it always happens in between. I wouldn't worry too much about it. The crochet mojo will come back in time, and in between you can do all the other good things which you enjoy and which inspire you. Susan Roberts says, I plan to make many amigurumi items and pick up knitting again. Amigurumi is very hard on my shoulders and hands, but I do like the patterns by Pika Pau. I got quite a lot of those animals already standing around. They're always so cute. I don't know amigurumi. The other amigurumi I made, like Winnie the Witch, they all end up with my godchild. She must have a shelf full of amigurumi animals by now. And picking up knitting again, yes. I'm very much a beginner in knitting, so that's a whole new world of being creative, which I can still explore. Linda Hofland, I will be making lots of hats. I donate them to schools and homeless shelters. I also plan to make a colorful striped blanket, maybe with simple rows of double crochet. I think stripes are equal to happiness. I said that in my comment to her. Stripes just make me happy. I mean, look here. Stripes, even black and white. They give you a kind of something to look forward to. A next row with a different color, and the next, so it never gets boring. Yeah, and she donates to schools and homeless shelters hats, which I think is a very good thing. There's nothing better than to make hats or blankets for those in need, and that's wonderful of you. Yeah, so shall I show you what I made since I last wrote? Yes, I have a finished object, even though I still have to weave in ends. Oh, no, this way. It's a huge shawl with Advent yarn minis held double. Just a granny stitch. And I added some tassels here at the end. Basically, I made a loop. I created a loop with chain 10, and then I made like that size or that length. I put all these leftover yarns together. I pulled them through here, and then I made a plate with it and tied something here, cut it all nicely, snip, and so I have a tassel. These little bits still have to be woven in. And with these tassels on either end, I try to make them the same length. So with these tassels, it helps to keep the shawl where it belongs without losing losing the end. Oh, so shawl on top of shawl. This is a huge shawl, but I really like the color. And I think it will look great if I wear something in gray. I mean, it works with my current top, but if I wear something in gray, this would really look nice. And the brightest colors are actually tucked in, but I really like this. It will keep me warm on cold days. Pattern is by Anna Bushaus, or if you can make a granny stitch and increases, then you can make it up yourself. I also finished another cowl, but can't show you yet. This will have to wait. I actually also have some incoming things. I had been looking at Instagram, and there is a user called Fräulein Jansen, and she's making the most beautiful socks. I purchased a lot of her socks already. She has a shop on Etsy, and I mentioned her before. And then I saw that she made a wonderful pair of socks. See, this is wool, 58% wool, 28% polyamide, and 14% yak. You can wash it 30 degrees Celsius by hand. That's her label. And these are the lovely socks. I didn't think she would sell them. I thought she would use them herself because they are, simply put, the most gorgeous socks I ever saw. And she said she doesn't know the name of the pattern here. She saw it on Instagram by a Russian maker. And if any of you know how this is done, please tell me. Please link the pattern below. Please, please, please. I'd love to make this my goal for 2022, to learn how to knit such a wonderful sock. I love everything about it. I love the heel construction, which looks to me like a heel flap and gusset. I love this, I think it's some kind of wraparound, but I don't know how to make this. I love that it's stretchy and that you don't have these, I mean, my feet are very delicate, like as Faye said, princess feet. So I like that it's just plain ribbed knitting here at the sole of the foot. You don't feel it when you walk on it. I love it. And the color is divine. She mentioned in her post what kind of yarn it is. I can't look it up because it's on my phone, but I will write it in the show notes down below. It's a commercial yarn, I believe, so if you like that color, then I will write down below which yarn it is. So these will go on my feet right after recording this podcast episode. And Fräulein Jansen, she's based in Germany. She always adds a little crochet heart. I think it's a very cute idea because if you want to if you have to repair your socks, you still have leftover yarn. Obviously you would have to frock the heart, but it's a lovely cute way to do that. But I won't keep this, because this little heart goes into Trina's prize parcel. Yes, Fräulein Jansen. And then I ordered a project bag. Yes, I don't need project bags, I have got plenty, but how could I resist? I show you and I ask you, how can I resist? It comes, I haven't unwrapped it yet, it comes in a lovely wrapped parcel, which I'm going to rip open now. The fabric is with protea flowers. I think I can even see me going out with this one on my arm. It's a boxed bottom. It has here a little button fastening. The handles are made of leather. There's so much space in here. And there is a zip, inside zip, if you want to put in your wallet and you don't want anyone to be able to get in and steal it out of your open bag. The handles are fixed with a piece of leather on the other side and then like a leather strap gone through that together. Starting again, I just had a visitor. So this is my lovely new bag and I bought it again from Etsy and the maker's name is Aubergines Kreationen. She's based in Germany as well, in Kirchheim, which is in the south. This is her little card. Aubergine is eggplant. And she sent me another card, here handwritten, which is very cute. And that's a little extra here. That's a stitch marker for knitting. But I think that you could also just add like a clasp, and then you can use it as a stitch marker for crochet as well. It's a little stone with a glass bead at the bottom. I think it's very pretty. Yeah, so, oh, and a little bit of a chocolate, which will go right into my tummy after this episode. I think that's about it for today. I don't have anything more crochet related at the moment. I am currently, when I don't roam around ancient Greece in my PlayStation game, I'm watching or trying to catch up with the TV series Agatha Raisin. Then there are new episodes from Father Brown, which I really enjoy. And then the third season of The Discovery of Witches is on. So plenty of things to watch. In January, December and January, there are a lot of good shows on and I have difficulties catching up. But I have to, because in March, I think the 22nd, I will make sure that I get the date right and I will post it down below, because many of you might be waiting for the new Bridgerton series. And that's coming up in March, so I have to get cracking with all the other episodes of the other shows. That's about it for today. I hope that you are going to have a lovely, lovely week. Enjoy your crocheting when you get the time. And yeah, here's to a hopeful and wonderful and happy new year. Bye, see you next time. P.S. I put up the printer tray drawer on my wall and it's almost filled up now. I bought this in December, kind of 1980s retro vibe. And I will put a little video right back at the end of this. Bye for now. I've still got plenty of space up here and down there. And the idea was, I saw this somewhere, to cut a picture into pieces and to pop in a piece of a picture in every place. I did the same here with that card. It's a watercolor painting card with with the bird's name. And some of the bags are really stained. So I cut a little piece of some watercolor painting which I made myself and stuck it to the bag with Tic Tac. In fact, I fixed everything in this here with Tic Tac so that it doesn't fall out when someone bumps against it accidentally. This is, you can also, instead of pictures, you can add a photo of a family. This is a very old photo. This is my great-grandmother, the seamstress. I talked about her before and showed her, and I showed you her scissors, her special scissors. This is an ex libris stamp which I found in one of my drawers. I bought this at a castle fair. More of a watercolor birds. That's a little Christmas ornament I found. This is a coral piece, very old one. I got this on the market when I was 10 years old or so. My grandparents, this we made ourselves. We were once into what's it called, clay making. This is a brooch with an imprint of some plant. I love these kind of minerals and stones, and then collecting some shells and mussels, an old tin box, and yeah, just little bits and pieces. I found this bottle here when we dug out the garden where I live, and I live very close to a natural spring, so I imagine that someone got to the spring and took their medicine or whatever it is. It looks really old, you see, and lost it there at the spring. I don't know. This is a wooden little bunny. This little figurine I bought in Cape Town. It's a guinea fowl. That's just a postcard. This is not a relative, but I thought it's quite funny. Woo! Yeah. And a little Schleich figurine. They are very famous for their plastic figurines here in Germany. And mice on car outing. There's another car. Oh, there. Yeah, that's a little pig driving to the same occasion, I suppose. Yeah, that's about it. Lots of space left. So that's my new display on the wall.